What up, though? OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny at Retired from the Streets TV, and welcome back. So, with my time in Virginia that I've been talking to y'all about, like briefly, I gave y'all probably about 2 episodes of thinking about that so far, maybe 3, but I know 2 for sure, right? I told you it was like tense on the yard at times, but the staff, it was love with the staff, because you're talking about 90% black staff, right? So it's relatable and they understand, they're not really, and they wasn't tripping, and then 90% of them was women, and most of them was, shapely women, you hear me? What we call strapped up here. So I'm having a decent time being around some people that's in a position of authority who not sweating you and who can understand what you're going through, because they got people, family members going through the same thing. Blew my mind though, because we explored the concept as Melanics, like I said, up to that point. And even now, I'm an active, member of the Melanic Islamic Palace of the Rising Sun. Always, I'm always gonna be there for them brothers. So, at the time though, me wearing my badge every day and us not having a traditional service in Virginia, because we are and were a religious organization that was founded in the Michigan Department of Corrections in the 80s, right? So, to make a long story short, as to pay honors to who we consider a prophet from God, we pay honors to Nat Turner. Nat Turner was born in Southampton, Virginia on October the 2nd, 1800. And he died in Cortland, Virginia, November the, I think, what was it? November the, let me check my notes. He died November the 11th, 1831. So, let me show y'all something. The first tattoo. See that tattoo right there? 1831. Let me get in close for y'all. I'm going to show y'all something. Now you see, 1831, say Pamoja Tutashinda, and a gift from God, right? So, I got this particular tattoo in Greensville Correctional Facility. My first tattoo ever. I got it down there because we were in Virginia, and that was synonymous with who we consider our prophet, because Nat Turner committed the first successful slave revolt on U.S. soil. So being somebody who looked at themselves as somebody who was a liberator, somebody who was taking on, God's battle to uphold truth and righteousness and whatnot amongst our people, I roll that window back up because they're playing music, and I can't get no copyright, flag. So, right, it was important rather for me to get that tattoo as a tribute to Nat Turner, because me being a Melanic taught me about order, discipline, about manhood. So that was important. Now, what we had explored, what I was earlier mentioning, was that we explored the concept of maybe it'd be crazy if we could meet some of Nat Turner's family members, right? Lo and behold, I'm in the housing unit one day, and Officer Turner come up to us, a few of the brothers, the Melanics, and say, "Excuse me, let me holler at y'all for a minute. You pointing us out." Had us come over. I'm thinking, oh Lord, what we done did now, right? So he's like, "Hey, what y'all the Melanics boys, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, we Melanics." And we started explaining what the Melanics was, what our religion was designed to do, and anybody that knew anything about Melanicism, the religion was designed to give all people of African descent a religious foundation on which they may enjoy their political, economic, and social concerns, with the moral fibers that erode with the vices that erode the moral fibers of our community, right? That our mission was basically to give you something, a foundation to base your, not just your spiritual beliefs, but your political, economic, and social ones. So imagine Nation of Islam mixed with the GDs, mixed with the Black Panthers. That'll give you a better concept of what I was dealing with, right? Now, they asking us these questions, and we trying. I'm looking at the badge like Turner, but it's not dawning on me yet. He was like, "Y'all worship Nat Turner?" I'm like, "No, we don't worship Nat Turner. We pay honors and tribute to Nat Turner for his sacrifice. He gave his life You know, he ultimately was tracked down and murdered. And if y'all watch the movie Birth of a Nation, the recent one that just came out a few years ago, that's talking about Nat Turner and his story. So watch that movie. You'll get a better gist. Nate Parker did a good job in that movie of depicting Nat Turner's story. Nat Turner got married to his wife Cherry and had a son Riddick. So we were looking always to try to find his descendants. This brother said, well, I'm a Turner. I want that thing Turner descendants. And he introduced us to the other Turners that was working there as correction officers who were Nat Turner descendants. You talking about powerful moment in my course of incarceration and in my belief system at the time. It was powerful for me to meet the bloodline of somebody who I idolized. Not for murdering nobody, but for standing up for what he believed in and sacrificing his life for that. And then they wonder why we call him a prophet, because what do the prophets of God do? They get a vision or a voice or a sign from God, right? To do the right thing and to liberate God's people. And like Joshua at Jericho and the walls came tumbling down, right? God destroyed whole cities for like Sodom and Gomorrah for being against his law and his word. So it's not far-fetched to think that somebody like Nat Turner could be considered a prophet. So that's how we, gave honors and tribute to him. So that was our thing. They appreciated that, man. They really respected that, and it was just like, it wasn't no favoritism, but they watched us after that and wanted to make sure we were who we said we were. And they appreciated the fact that we were stand-up dudes. They actually let us join with the Hebrew Israelites because it was only a handful of them, and we started having religious service on the same day they had their service, which was beautiful because we didn't have the right to have a service down there because our religious charter was based in Michigan, if that makes sense. So powerful day for me, man. And I still, right now to this day, want to go down there and do an episode and just interview Nat Turner's descendants and just see how that feels to carry a legacy like that, how that feels to carry that legacy and that name, and if there has been any backlash from that, any political or police or whatnot scrutiny from them, or do people generally show them love? I would love to get that. If anybody know any Turners or whatnot, tap into the comment section. Shout out to everybody in Virginia. Like I always say when I do a story from Virginia, I gotta shout out the big homie who rep in Virginia, especially within this category, what we do for YouTube. Banky Pound Team, Banky Pound TBP. So shout them brothers out and that family down there. Shout out to everybody in Greensville correctional facility, everybody who ever did time there, who had a family member that did time there. Shout out to everybody in Jarrett, Virginia, everybody in Southampton, Virginia, and everybody in Cortland, Virginia. The whole state. You know what I'm saying? So, like what my man Chris Breeze say, peace up, hey down. You feel me? So, anyway, man, I love y'all, man. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. I want to do that story, man. It was a powerful day for me. That was deep because there's somebody who I look up to. And y'all watch that story, if y'all can understand the story of people who are downtrodden, who are put down, who are enslaved, who are impoverished, who are politically, economically, socially, spiritually, and otherwise disenfranchised and marginalized, right? Put in a category where you ain't nothing but a third-class human. You barely human, if that. You 3/5 human. You're an animal. You're a product. You're a chattel like cows. If you can understand the plight of people like that and what it took for one man after so many before him who had been knocked off and got out the way because of infiltrators and people amongst their own ranks, if you can respect that type of plight, you will understand and respect Nat Turner's story. I promise you. Watch the Birth of a Nation, Nate Parker's story that he did on Nat Turner, and see what I'm talking about, man. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all be safe. And I'm going to catch y'all again later. OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny at Retired from the Streets TV. I love y'all, and I'm out.